Now.
All right, folks, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome aboard my portion of this incredible 3-day event. Thank you for hosting it, David, Anka, all the 500-pound heads. Love seeing the speakers list and love driving it through here every once in a while and checking out some of the great stuff going on. So I appreciate the invite. My brief, folks, is called, and it's called a brief, not a long. So let's get airborne. It's called Trading the Death Star. And if you got some Star Wars nerds in your family, or if you are yourself a Star Wars nerd, you know what the Death Star is. It was that's no moon. That's a space station. It literally was taking over the entire universe. And this stock is the Death Star. This is the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Now, if I just lost you, you better strap in because it's the truth. If you don't like hearing that, you've been lied to for most of your investing career. I can't just trade one stock. Yeah, you can. And I'm going to tell you why. So no distractions. Make sure you silence your electronic nicotine because I guarantee you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. This goes against everything you've learned since day one of investing training. Never heard this. So the Death Star taking over the universe, that's exactly what this stock is. But before we get airborne, I'm from Top Gun Options. You're going to know who I am in a second here, but I'm going to lead with this question. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Hopefully, unless you've been on the other side of Mars for the past year, you've seen the movie Top Gun Maverick, or maybe the first Maverick. So a little bit of a fighter pilot question. Which fighter aircraft would you rather flying? You don't have to know anything about fighter aircraft to give me your answer. You ready? Here's your first choice. I want you to take a look at that cockpit. Over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. Absolute. First of all, being an F-18 Hornet pilot, looking at this cockpit gives me agita. Look at all of those steam gauges. This is the cockpit of an F-4 Phantom. Okay, the pilot would spend a lot of what we call heads down time looking at all this stuff instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit, looking for enemy MiG aircraft or surface-to-air missile, SAMs, or AAA, anti-aircraft artillery. Matter of fact, this aircraft was so labor-intensive, they threw another dude in there to actually just run the radar. Very labor-intensive aircraft. So would you rather fly that one or this one? Look at that. 2 flat panel displays. This is the F-35, the Lightning II, the JSF, the Joint Strike Fighter, one of the most technologically advanced aircraft on the face of the planet. Does anybody see any steam gauges in that cockpit? Nope, you don't. 2 flat panel displays. Ladies and gentlemen, this aircraft is invisible to radar. It's the Wonder Woman jet, right? And there are so many sensors all over the aircraft that when the pilot looks down through their visor, they don't see aircraft. They see ground, they see threats projected on their visor. Matter of fact, an F-35 pilot, speaking of the Death Star, kind of looks a little Darth Vader-ish, right? All of their targeting information, everything is displayed where? Right in front of their eyeballs. So obviously the answer is clear, ladies and gentlemen. If you were going to fly a fighter jet in combat, you want to fly the F-35. And by the way, trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their rear end handed to them. Which one do you want to be? Obviously, you want to be on the winning side of that, folks. Welcome aboard my brief. My promise, by the end of today's brief, our short time together, I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief. Why? Because things literally are changing by the hour. Yesterday, we announced M1 Abrams main battle tanks being sent to Ukraine along with Germany with their Leopard, and then the Brits, their Challenger tanks. We're only going to be using them for defensive purposes, just to, in Ukraine to repel the Russian horde. Just saw a news report. We're going to attack Russian cities. Not 24 hours after saying, these are purely defensive, Ukraine comes out and says, no, we're going to use them to attack. Folks, you need to know what's going on, man. With the volatility index down here at 19 or 20 on the edge of global thermonuclear war, you need to know what's going on. I'm going to show you the only stock you need to own and a good substitute to trade if you are still stuck in your old investing mindset. I'll show you a good substitute to trade. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Whiz. And before I go any further, let's just say not all fighter pilots are running around out there with call signs like Maverick or Iceman. Some of us go out and earn our call sign, and it's usually by doing something stupid. So I'm Whiz, and I'm not going to take any questions about how I earned my call sign. I flew the Hornet for the Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know as Top Gun, and deployed to Iraq twice on board Abraham Lincoln and Kitty Hawk, and flew some combat sorties in support of Operation Southern Watch. So let's go ahead and well, you know, what, to be honest with you, is what the hell does that have to do with trading? And I'm going to tell you absolutely everything, ladies and gentlemen. Trading is a form of combat. And like I said, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their rear end handed to them. So why wouldn't you use the same methodologies and stuff like that I used over the skies of Iraq to win? Okay. So Top Gun Options was started actually, unfortunately, as a result of a tragedy or my career on Wall Street. My first and last day at work at American Airlines was on September 11th. Instead, I raced out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth and ended up flying combat air patrol with some F-16s, Air Force F-16s. So long story, but I actually ended up going to Wall Street, and I ended up applying everything I was learning as a fighter pilot to my trading. Right? Having a strategy, implementing tactics that support that strategy, contingency planning, managing risk. Wait a minute. This guy's a fighter pilot and he's talking to me about managing risk? Yeah, I am. Flying off the pointy end of the business end of an aircraft carrier over bad guy country is dangerous enough, let alone just taking unnecessary risks, right? So we want to minimize and eliminate, as a fighter pilot, as an options trader, all known risks, right? So eventually, after being furloughed from American Airlines, I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage options trading firms in the world, headquartered right here in the Chicago Board of Trade. See those big, beautiful windows right there? That was our trading firm. Everybody should know the Board of Trade, right? So that's the Board of Trade. My firm, when I was there, I helped build a hedge fund, a volatility arbitrage hedge fund. I helped build the retail brokerage that many of you know as Options House. And I was also the founder of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. Kind of the CNBC for options, right? You know, John and Pete, who used to be on CNBC, kind of would pay lip service to options, but we did it 24/7, man. I'd shoot on the floor of the CBOE and the CBOT, and we'd, you know, give you all retail traders a behind the scenes look at what was going on in the options market. I kind of felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places, right? Little old retail trader off the street. But guess what? So everything I learned flying fighters, everything I applied to my trading, these folks, the quote smart money, weren't doing. So I ended up going up there and having a blast. No offense to anybody from Chicago, but you can keep it. I'm a beach guy. I'm a Navy guy. I need sun, beach, sand. So moved down here to Boca Raton, Florida, God's waiting room, where my beautiful bride is from. And we started Top Gun Options in 2009. Written a couple books, including COVID Crash, From Panic to Profit. I predicted the COVID market crash to the day when Donald Trump was sitting in Davos on January 22nd of 2020. And he was asked by Joe Kiernan on CNBC, you know, final question, Mr. President, what's up with this China flu thing? He's like, dumb question. Why are you even asking me? Why are you wasting my time? I trust ye, not coming here. It's fine. I had a buddy in the White House who's like, dude, get out. And I wasn't a U.S. senator or a congressman who just told their friends to get out of the market. I told everybody, and we literally made millionaires here at Top Gun Options. It was free money. Also wrote a book, From Sea Level to Sea Level, talking about leaving the cockpit and heading to Wall Street. I do the Max Afterburner podcast, which is in the top 2.5% of podcasts on the planet. So you can check that out on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. It's in the top 2.5% of podcasts in the world. So make sure you check that out. Do some charity work down here in South Florida, and producing a documentary called No Fallen Heroes about the psychedelic space, about healing veterans using psychedelic assisted therapy. We own a couple fighter jets. If you end up becoming a Top Gun Options member, you might have the opportunity to go flying in one of those. That's my family, and that's about it. Okay, that's the quick intro. You know, I know we have limited time in these briefs, but if you want to learn how to trade with somebody, you gotta kind of know who they are, right? So that's me real quick. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne. Now, this is going to be, this is either going to be shocking to you or you're going to give me a duh. I knew that. Since day one of investing, you have been lied to. Now, I'm sure half the room's going to go, duh, and the other half of the room's going to go, no. Wait, well, what are they lying to me about? How many of you in this room have heard the Wall Street-ism, you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket? How many of you have heard this, right? Day one. You must, what do they tell you? You have to do. You have got to diversify. Diversification is important. The 5 steps to diversify. They froth at the mouth, ladies and gentlemen, that you have got to diversify. Who is telling you this, ladies and gentlemen? Who tells you that you have to diversify? That dude. Folks, how many of you, just about everybody in this room, I'm sure, has seen it, what, The Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or the movie Wall Street with Bud Fox, right, and Gordon Gekko. Ladies and gentlemen, they want you in as many names as humanly possible. Why? Commissions, right? In the movie Wall Street or Boiler Room, pick up the phone, boys. Let's call the little old ladies in tennis shoes and get them into this name today. Well, hold on. We got them into this name yesterday. Oh, yeah. Get them out of that name. Get them into this one. It's called churn. It's called commissions. Your brokers want you in as many names as possible because they get paid. Hold on, Whiz. Yeah, what? I don't pay commissions. I trade at Robinhood. Don't pay a dime in commissions. Okay, folks. If you don't pay, you're not the customer. You're the product. Ladies and gentlemen, Robinhood, obviously a misnamed company. Who's the customer? Ken Griffin at Citadel. Stevie Cohen at SAC Capital. Folks, if you're sitting at the poker table wondering who the idiot is, it's probably you. So don't give me this, I don't pay anything, so blah, blah, blah. No, folks. Churn commissions. Now, I'm a fighter pilot and I'm direct. So I'm going to be direct. You ready for this? Diversification is for stupid people. Now, if you're offended by that, let me clean it up with somebody nicer than me. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. That's a nicer way of what I just said. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. I want that to sink in. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to diversify. The only stock you need to own for the rest of your life is Amazon. What? Let me brief you. 30% year-over-year growth. It's insane, ladies and gentlemen. If in 1991, when I started trading and investing, I'm showing my age here. If you had told me there would be a name like this, I would have bought it with both hands. And I'd probably be as rich as Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen. That growth is insane. Look at the growth by segment. Ladies and gentlemen, up until 2013, AWS, Amazon Web Services, didn't even exist. Now it is a massive part of their business. It's essentially Microsoft, ladies and gentlemen, at Amazon Web Services. North America, international, ladies and gentlemen, it is explosive growth. Now, of course, the Death Star can only get so big, and obviously stuff will start to come in. But folks, that's why you want to be in it. It literally is the Death Star. Now, this slide right here, ladies and gentlemen, pisses Democrats and liberals off. And let me explain why. We need to go after Amazon. Amazon doesn't pay taxes and this, that, blah, blah, blah. We need to destroy them. Look at Amazon. Look, Amazon's revenue versus profit versus cash flow. If you should, let's delete the word Amazon. If 10 years ago, if you showed me this chart and said, Whiz, would you invest in this company? I'd look at this chart and go, wow, oh my God, look at the sales. Well, free cash flow. That's interesting. All right, I still like it. Whoa, hold on. Profit down. No, I'd short this company. And if I short this company, I would have been broke and I'd be homeless right now. Ladies and gentlemen, why? This is why you want to be in Amazon. Well, Wiz, they really don't make any money. Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about, because Jeff Bezos has said what? Since day one, he started his company. I don't want to make a profit. If I make $1, if Jeff Bezos, you got it, James. Jeff Bezos says what? If I make $1 this quarter, what's that dollar going to do? I'm taking that dollar and putting a competitor out of business, buying a new airplane, launching a new product, He takes profit and puts it where? Right back into the damn company. So not only is Bezos said any profit goes right back to build a bigger Death Star, he's also said what? Every time anybody's asked him this question, he literally laughs at them like, will Amazon ever have a dividend? He's like, what a stupid question. If you're investing in my company, why would I, quote, give money back to you? I'm taking that capital and I'm building a Death Star. So folks, this is what's funny is this slide shows you that people are like, we need to destroy Amazon because it prints money. No, actually, he takes money and he builds another center. He hires people. He, buys another Airbus or whatever. So, folks, it's really interesting that this is why people's faces melt off. Like, well, then we have to make a special law to go after Amazon to tax them. Okay. You guys set up the rules. Here's how he's operating under. Don't hate the player, hate the game, right? So, JG with a small account trading Whiz Amazon trades netted $8,900 in 1 week. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account and have done 22 Amazon trades this year for 31 grand in profit. Christine, month-to-date profits on Amazon, 107 grand with more to go. Thanks, Whiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing day trades with short calls to protect my Amazon profits, learning from the best, and blew me away in the fall. November 15 through 17. In 3 days, I made 90 grand on short calls against my 30 contracts utilizing Wiz's guidance. So before I just sing you sunshine and lollipops about how great just trading Amazon is as a fighter pilot, as your flight instructor, I have to brief you on the risks. You just don't sit here and say, everything in combat is going to be great. No, you don't. You sit here and go, what are the risks? So what are the risks of trading just a single stock, a solo stock? Do y'all remember a little mom and pop company called Lehman Brothers? Lehman Brothers was a 150-year-old company, gone kind of in a blink of an eye. How about Bear Stearns? Everybody, Jim Cramer knows about Bear Stearns, doesn't he? Right about here at $70 at the height of the financial crisis, he looked like Khrushchev at the UN. This bald dude would slamming his shoe on the table. You're an idiot if you take your money out of Bear Stearns. It's safe there. Bear Stearns is awesome. 2 days later, it was at zero. Good call, Jim. How about pets.com? How about Enron? I could spend the rest of our time together in this brief listing. We could walk through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero. It's a waste of time. Here's the why. Ladies and gentlemen, whether it's Bear Stearns, Lehman, pets.com, Enron, they didn't own anything. Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers were a financial company that owned paper, counterparties, contracts. They didn't own stuff. Pets.com owned a stinky sock and a domain name. Enron didn't even own the building they were in, folks. They were a, quote, middleman of electricity. They didn't own a thing. They went to zero. How about Bitcoin, crypto? I don't want to sit here and waste my time on any of this stuff, but folks, when it's backed by nothing, it can go to zero. Can the stock of Amazon go to zero? I mean, technically anything can, but ladies and gentlemen, it technically can't. It owns things. I did some consulting a couple years ago south of Miami International at an Amazon fulfillment center. It was an aircraft. It was the size of an aircraft carrier. And inside it looked like an aircraft carrier flight deck, different color vests, robots. It was packed with stuff. And I flew for FedEx for a couple years. It looked like Memphis from midnight to 4 a.m. during the sort. So it owns stuff. Speaking of FedEx, about 10 years ago, I left FedEx to go to American, and September 11th was my first and last day at work. Different story. Everything happened exactly as it was supposed to, trust me. But anyway, I still had friends at FedEx. One guy was in corporate, and he called me like, I forget when, I need to look this up, but he called me. He's like, dude, who you trade? Yeah, man. Jeff Bezos, doesn't he run that company called Amazon? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, I just heard from a buddy of mine at GE Aircraft Leasing. He's leasing 5 airplanes. And I said, he's going to do it. And my buddy's like, do what? I'm like, put you out of business. What do you mean? I'm like, he's going to buy. Remember Rockefeller? Was it Rockefeller? Yeah. He looked at, or no, Carnegie, whichever one. He's standing there looking at the oil spouting out of his oil wells. And then he's like, yeah, I'm making money. Then he looked at the oil getting loaded in a truck and then put on a train. He's like, why don't I buy the damn trucking companies? Why don't I buy the railroad? Why don't I buy the railroad tie? I mean, so Jeff Bezos, ladies and gentlemen, I called it 10 years ago. I said, he is going to build his own you, buddy, and you're in trouble. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers. That was when. That article's old. I forget what year that was. Look at this one. What's the next one? Amazon poised to pass UPS and FedEx. Folks, he's doing it on his own. So he owns things, right? Uh-oh. Why is this guy on the screen? So this guy's on the screen, folks, because at the beginning of his presidency, he woke up one morning, or didn't go to bed, depends on who you believe, grabbed his cell phone and did what? Tweeted. Jeff Bezos, Amazon monopoly. Somebody needs to look into this. Big monopoly, huge. Nobody does monopolies better than Bezos. Look into it. What did the stock do? Uh-oh. Holy crap. Pulled back a little bit like, uh-oh, here comes Uncle Sam. Then what happened? Nothing. Towards the end of his presidency, I think the final year, again, cell phone, Jeff Bezos, Amazon monopoly, unbelievable, break them up. What happened? The stock went up. Nothing happened, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, there is political risk in just owning Amazon. The DOJ, FTC and big, antitrust and blah, blah. Folks, I get it, man. But ladies and gentlemen, last time I checked, depending on the price of Tesla or Amazon, Jeff Bezos is either the richest man or one of the richest men on the face of this planet. I think he probably has 1 or 2 attorneys on his staff, right? So right now, ladies and gentlemen, Amazon is Mercury. If you smash Amazon, you're going to make 12 little monopolies in everything that they're in. I predicted years ago, you want a bearish trade right now? Get it, pound CVS and Walgreens into the dirt. You don't need, I said this 5 years ago. I said, in the future, you're going to text alert that says, go to the door. You go to the door, a drone's going to scan your face and drop your prescription bag into your hand. Or you walk out to the street, you enter a PIN code on the side of the truck and opens, there's your prescriptions. Amazon Pharma, ladies and gentlemen. How about Amazon Entertainment, the Amazon Prime? It's it's bigger than I watch Amazon. So it cracks me up that if the government broke up Amazon, so to speak, you'd have 12 little monopolies. It's massive and it's diversified, right? And again, if I told you I started trading in 1991, I showed you my age, but let me show you even more of my age. I'm old enough to remember like Standard Oil or IBM or Microsoft or AT&T. Anytime Uncle Sam starts poking around like, we think you might be a monopoly. You know how long it takes? 5, 10 on the far side, 15 years for Uncle Sam to kind of be like, you know what? We think we should break you up. Oh, well, that's your opinion. I'm going to appeal that in Supreme. So folks, I'm doing my job by briefing you on potential threats. but it ain't going to happen. Okay, so those are, some of the risks, right, of just owning one stock. Now I'm bipolar, and so am I. I'm going to tell you how I feel about stuff in my live trade briefs as an American, as a former fighter pilot, a veteran, and Whiz, right? I can't stand Amazon. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. He's a limousine liberal. At the height of the COVID crisis, his people are working their asses off with no personal protection or any stuff. He's your typical limousine liberal. On the day of Joe Biden's inauguration, he sent out a tweet. Welcome, Mr. President, and Amazon and my fulfillment centers and airplanes are standing by to blast out vaccines and help you. Didn't do that under the previous guy, so he's that type of dude. I can't stand him. Whiz, I don't care what you think, because on the other bipolar side of me, I'm Gordon effing Gecko. Good. I hope Amazon fires a lot more people. That goes right to the bottom line. I hope they optimize their operations, blah, blah. So, folks, I'm going to tell you how, to use a line from the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm here to teach you how to trade options, how to use Amazon to print disgusting profits, right? But sometimes I have to hold my nose. So, all right. So those were the potential risks of just trading Amazon. What are the benefits now? Folks, you're going to trade this same name and potentially profit no matter what direction Amazon moves. As an options trader, I'm going to teach you Amazon's moving up, down, or sideways, we can profit. You're going to stay focused on the news and events that impact one name, Amazon, instead of a ton of stocks and ETFs. You're going to become an expert in Amazon, reducing a ton of time you spend on other positions, right? I have a buddy who was an Apple market maker. I'm not kidding when I tell you he doesn't know a stock market exists. The dude eats, breathes, and sleeps Amazon. Doesn't care about Microsoft, doesn't care about the VIX, doesn't care about the S&P 500, doesn't look at POTS, doesn't do anything. And I love telling folks this story because, first of all, it's not a story, it's the truth. So down here in Boca, a good buddy of mine is a surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, works 12, 15 hours a day, office hours, surgeries and stuff like that. And of course, like any good doctor, he does what? Oh, I invest and I trade. Like in between surgeries, I'm looking at my cell phone. I'm like, okay, man, Whiz, meet me at Starbucks. I need your help. Okay, doc. I went to Starbucks. I'm glad he's a doctor because he opened up his laptop and he showed me his brokerage account. And it was this. He had 33 positions in his brokerage account. And I fell out of my chair and passed out. I was literally blown away. 33. Now here's what he tried to do. I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, well, okay, so that one's a pot stock, I think. And I'm like, wait, did you just say that's a pot stock, I think? Well, yeah, but anyway, so this is a surgical stock that a buddy of mine got me into, and it's down 50%. So I'm going to wait for it to come back up, and then I'll get out of it. I'm like, doc, okay, dude, I'm a political science major, but you get math better than me. Do you know what it has to do from this price to get back to where you got it, just so you can get? So I'm like, stop talking to me. You have got to simplify your trading. This is insanity. You have no time to be doing this. Folks, at that firm in Chicago I worked at, we had a research desk, 25. I think 25 analysts, right? And that analyst had an individual group of names, 3 names that they had to know like the back of your hand. Do you know how many times I'd walk over to that research desk and look at them and go, see that announcement today? Where were you? Or did you see those earnings? Completely the opposite of what you predict. Folks, these people were paid very good money to be experts in a couple names. And I'm asking this as a friend. If I'm talking to you, if you're looking at your brokerage account on one of your other screens right now and looking at about 5 to 10 names, I don't know how you do that. I do this for a living. So simplify your trading cockpit, ladies and gentlemen, with Amazon. Now, if this resonates with you, and we're going to go take a look at Amazon and some trades here in a second, but if this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, does not compute. Whiz, must diversify. If they bit you in the neck on the day one of investing 101 and said, dude, you got to diversify, and you're sitting here going, got to do it, Whiz, I got something for you. In our solo Amazon service, we also trade the ETF that is XLY. Why do we trade the ETF XLY? Kind of like shrimp or a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. The ETF XLY is a vehicle for eating Amazon. About a quarter of this ETF is in Amazon. So, okay. And if you really do, if you do want some diversification, check it out. Look at what's the second largest holding in this ETF? Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, Target, Booking, TJX. Ladies and gentlemen, if on your screen you need a little diversification because they got you, there it is. So in Solo Amazon, our service that we trade every Monday at 10, you get some diversification. Okay. So how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? Well, pretty easy, right? So what we're going to do is we establish what we call a base position. Okay. Just like a beachhead, just like the Marines at Iwo Jima, we're going to fly. We're going to jump in our Joint Strike Fighter. We're going to fly the speed of light, maybe, and we're going to go out a couple years into the future. In the options market, we can go out 2.5 years using leaps, longer dated options. And I'm going to show you one that we just put on Monday. So you're going to get a free trade. One of the tactics is called synthetic stock, or the other one is called a long call diagonal. But guess what? Look at the parentheses. I never went flying in an F-18 and got up on the flight deck of the carrier and looked at the chief and said, hey, chief, do me a favor. I'm awesome today. I mean, I could have said that, but I didn't. I'm awesome today, but I want the extra 800 pounds of gas. I don't need an ejection seat for today's mission. I'm awesome. Do you think I ever did that? So ladies and gentlemen, every position that I'm going to show you at Top Gun Options, we have what? Protection, man. We have ejection seats. So we put on protective puts, ladies and gentlemen, right? Protective puts. So I'm going to show you these two tactics, right? In a couple seconds here in my brokerage account that we put on Monday. So after we fly out into the future and we establish that base position, what do? Then we can trade the front months. What is a front month? You're sitting in the front month, January, February, March, right? So right now, earnings period, I think for Amazon are in a couple weeks. If Amazon is going up, we'll trade bullish spreads or buy some long calls. Amazon's going down. Who cares? We can make money with bearish spreads, buy some puts. Or if it's moving sideways like it has been for recently, which we'll take a look on the chart in a second, you can do a tactic that is range bound. You can actually make money, folks, as an options trader if the stock is moving sideways, right? So if you're just a stock trader, how do you make money? You make money three ways. It's called the buy, hope, and pray. You buy the stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you pray. As an options trader, I can make money if the market's going up, down, or sideways. All right, so let me bring up my brokerage platform, and let's start from a strategery, right? The George Bush word, strategery. So look at the round trip we have made in Amazon. Right there, folks, January of 2020, there's Donald Trump in Davos going, not coming here, COVID. I don't even, dumb question. We're safe. I'm like, we all thought we were going to die. And then look at the bounce here. This is where Jerome Powell came into the market and dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon known to man. And then what happened? Free money. Now we are seeing a hangover. Look at Amazon recently. We just bounced off of where? Right there. The COVID bottom. So this was all BS up here, folks. This is all fake ridiculousness, Fed, government spending, stupidity. Now, if Amazon ain't at a bottom, it's pretty damn close, right? Let me clear all these drawings for a second. So that's just, look at that. That's insanity. That's made up. I mean, it happened. I wrote a book on it and we made a lot of money, but now we're getting back to reality, right? We're getting back to where we should be. So let's go take a look at, let's go take a look at how we're doing month to date. Look at month to date, folks, in this portfolio. Now, I have an Amazon position in here, so this is why I'm showing you this one. We have a separate solo Amazon portfolio. What's today's date? 26. It is January 26th, and we're up $27,000 in this one portfolio. Trading the heck out of the S&P 500, little Goldman Sachs earnings trade, some Amazon, and we got some VIX protection on. I love seeing this red. What? That makes no sense. It makes total sense to me, folks. You're trading, your screen should look like a ballistic missile submarine firing panel. You should be seeing greens, but some reds. On a day when the market is really up, I like seeing this red VIX. Why? Because that's my hedge, baby. That's my ejection seat for this portfolio is I'm long volatility. Let's talk about volatility real quick. I know we're in solo Amazon, but I'm going to show you how you got to look around a big cockpit. So let's look at the VIX, the volatility index, which of course many of you know as the uncertainty index, right? Or the fear gauge. There is, we're all going to die. And then we don't. So folks, let's go 3 months. Look at what's going on right now. No, a year. Look at a year chart of the VIX. Let me clear that and then draw again. The VIX, ladies and gentlemen, is a heart rate monitor. Freak out? Okay, no, it's gone. No, it's back. Other freak out. So the VIX, ladies and gentlemen, is not a stock. It doesn't like go up and to the right. It reverts to its mean. So look, since the fall of this year to today, a little bit of some freak outs down here, but nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, the VIX is at 19. Are you insane? Ladies and gentlemen, the VIX is at 19, Whiz. Well, let's go take a look. In today's brief, yesterday, the German foreign minister more or less declared war on Russia. Did you see what she said? But the most important and crucial part is that we do it together and that we do not do the blame game in Europe because we are fighting a war against Russia and not against each other. Whoa. A day after they get their tanks, Ukraine predicts attacks on major Russian cities. Oh, that's folks. I never thought I would be sitting in a live trade brief talking to you about war in Europe. I'm a veteran. I'm a naval officer, a fighter pilot. I'm a student of history. This feels like the beginning of World War I. This feels like the beginning of World War II. Well, that's not going to happen this time. Okay. Whoops. I stopped my share screen. So I was going to go over to here because whenever, let me pull this up. When World War III fears grow, battle gets bloodier. Ukraine under new missile barrage. Now they're pushing to get F-16s. Okay, you gave us tanks. Now we want fighter jets. Predicts attack on Russian cities. Moscow officials defecting. I mean, folks, this is why am I rambling about this? Because I showed you red in my portfolio. I show you the good and the bad. But you're telling me that being long the VIX right now is stupid? If you don't learn anything from me today, write this down. When volatility is cheap, buy it. Get bullish. When volatility is expensive, up here in the 30s, upper 20s, 30s, you sell it. This ain't rocket surgery, folks. This isn't hard. When vol gets down here, you buy it. So this week in one of our live trade briefs, I bought the VIX with both hands, man, because this is going to happen. What's going to cause that? I have no clue, but something will. Okay, so there you go. There's a little free volatility brief as well. Because in our live trade briefs, I look around the entire cockpit at what's going on. So we are long volatility right now, like you read about. Okay, now right here, ladies and gentlemen, you see this Amazon position at the top. I put this on Monday, because every Monday is our solo Amazon brief. It's down here. Okay. This is called synthetic stock. Let me go back to the position real quick and show you what it is. And folks, when I'll tell you how to sign up towards the end of this brief, we do 8 training sessions at night after the market's closed once a quarter, 7 o'clock at night, 7 to 8-ish. I sit in a room and I brief you. I'm going to give you a synthetic stock lecture, folks. So, because in the live trade briefs during the day, that's where we do, right? This is in the military. How do we teach somebody how to do something? It's called demo do. I'll demonstrate, then you go do. So at night, when we do our full throttle training, you're going to get an hour lecture on this position that I built on Monday. It's called synthetic stock. Let me show you the position real quick. Analyze. So here's the trade. Here is what we did. Let me actually show you the options chain first for Amazon. Let's bring up Amazon. I'll show you the options chain and look at what I did. I hopped in my F-35 and I flew all the way out to December. Look at over here, folks. We can be bullish on Amazon 2 years out into the future. Isn't that awesome? We can fly into the future and be bullish 2 years out into the future. And then what did I say? Then once I established this bullish beachhead, so to speak, you know, folks, 2 years from now, we could all be vaporized. And that's not hyperbole. When you listen to Medvedev, the former Russian president, 2 to 3 days ago, say, I don't think you guys are listening. If we're going to lose, we're going to use nukes in Ukraine. And what do we say? Oh, no, you won't. They won't. Whew. We are risking potential global thermonuclear war over who rules Crimea. And folks, I'm a former meat-eating, knuckle-dragging guy, right? I would have swam across the Atlantic a year ago to go kill as many Russians as physically possible. Now I'm like, can we kind of maybe try and figure something out before everybody gets killed? And that isn't hyperbole. It's breaking my heart as a veteran and somebody who deals with veterans and trying to help prevent veteran suicide. It's breaking my heart to see what's going on. Anyway, but let's put a smile on. That everything's going to be fine. And 2 years from now, by December of 25, Amazon's $250. Yay. So what I did was I flew out into the future in my time machine, and we did what is called synthetic stock. I put this trade on Monday when Amazon was around $95. Right now, so we're actually making money in this trade. It's up a little bit. So what did I do? I bought calls and I sold a put. Don't worry if you don't even know what a call or a put is. That's what the training is for, right? That right there creates something called synthetic stock. When you buy a call, you're bullish. When you sell a put, you're bullish. Okay, so that in the middle is what's called synthetic stock. What did I do underneath it? I bought what we call a protective put. Whiz, you could be wrong. We're all going to get vaporized. Amazon's going to implode. What did Uncle Whiz do? I bought some puts underneath this position. So synthetic stock right there, protective put right there. The last thing that I did down here was I sold a front month call. You see that date? It's Friday, January 27th. Wow. So I actually sold some calls for Friday to bring in some money. Oh, on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's synthetic stock, a protective put, and I sold a call out to Friday to bring in some cash. Beautiful. I will take an hour to an hour and a half in the full throttle training at night to teach you this tactic. But obviously, since we're time limited, you just got it in 2 minutes. So don't worry about it. Again, we're going to dig into this. I'm going to teach you this. But ladies and gentlemen, so what we're essentially doing with Amazon is doing what? I have a long-term bullish position on, and I'm also trading the front month. For the past month or so, what else have we been doing in Amazon, in our solo Amazon service? In Iron Condor. Look at the range. Amazon has been trading between the low 80s and 100. Now it's getting close to the top of the range, and I think we're going to break out here. But folks, I've been selling bear call spreads up here, kind of building a ceiling, and I've been selling bull put spreads down here, making a floor. So if you just owned Amazon, the stock, as it sat here for a month, you didn't make anything. You stared at it for a month. Not me. For the past month, we've been printing money in the solo Amazon service by doing range bound trades. Now, I don't think it's going to stay in a range much longer. Why? Because I think February down here, February 2nd, Amazon earnings are going to come out. Amazon earnings will be gambling. So I'm going to be sitting here with a bucket of popcorn watching. I don't know if they have trimmed their sales appropriately. What do I mean by that? They've been laying off people. They've been, cost cutting and everything like that. Remember, if you don't know what you're doing, all of that sounds bad, doesn't it? Oh my God, they're cutting people. They're getting rid of this or that, or yeah, it does initially, but then it's what? It's actually pretty damn good news because it's going to the bottom line. When companies start trimming their sales and for the sea conditions, when the weather turns nice, they're really ready to go. So look at this. We're skidding along the bottom here with Amazon, and I think we're ready to rally. We're back above this 50-day moving average, which is the blue line right there. And these moving averages, folks, I call them magnets. Speaking of Ukraine and World War I and trench warfare, these are no man land. In between these moving averages, they act like magnets. The stock or the index either gets pulled up to it, the next one, or down to it. Us being in this limbo area in the mid 90s is going to end. We're either heading up to this 100-day moving average, which is up here at 102, or we're back down here. My gut tells me that I think Amazon kind of has been trimming their sales appropriately, even if they didn't. They're pretty damn close, right? So, Whiz, Amazon earnings ended up being bad. Oh, darn it. Guess what's going to happen? Yeah, my long-term bullish position might be still underwater, but I'm going to sell a bear call spread or buy some puts. So we're going to trade the heck out of the front month here in Amazon as we keep that long-term bullish position kind of sitting right there as this hopefully happens. Isn't that awesome? So with a long-term bullish position on Amazon all the way out here in the future, there's a couple trades in there. Then we're going to trade the front month. That's a couple trades in there. That's a couple positions. So right there, ladies and gentlemen, we already have like 3 to 5 positions, but it's in one name. And you stay focused in that name. I'm telling you, folks, I do this for a living. I don't know how people have 5, 10, 15, 33 positions in their portfolio. It makes no sense to me, folks. That just does not compute. Simplify your trading cockpit, and I guarantee you, it's going to make your life a heck of a lot better. So before I take questions, Solo Amazon is one of our newest live trading services here at Top Gun Options. All our other briefs are about $167 a month. But guess what? We only trade Amazon in this one. And the other briefs, I'm talking about the VIX or Goldman Sachs or oil. So it's a little cheaper. Today, I'm going to give you $97 a month. For the next 30 days, if you want to check out, this is a gateway drug to check out Top Gun Options. It's $97 a month, or you get a 25% discount-ish of $897 a year. So David will hook me up and drop those in the chat box for you, but they're pretty easy to remember. There's the annual one first if you want to do the annual, and then I'll give you or David will give you the monthly one in a couple seconds here. But let me give you a quick brief about what you get. So the Solo Amazon brief is every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Whiz, I work for a living. Well, guess what? About 80% of our current TGO members work and can't attend the briefs. Here's what I do. In the brief, before the brief, after the brief, whenever, I send out a text alert and an email alert. They fire at the same time. I send out a text alert with the trade, and I send out an email alert that actually has a screenshot of a trade, right? There's an example of what a text alert looks like, and then an email fires with a screenshot of a trade and also the risk parameters. Here's how much the max potential loss is. Here's how much the max potential profit is, blah, blah, blah. And it takes about 30 minutes or so after the brief, after I render the recording, I post the replay on the member page, right? So you can watch the replay. I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you via the replays. That's pretty cool. You don't have to attend live. You get the replays, folks. Now, I'm a political science major from South Jersey, South Philadelphia, South Jersey area. Not good with math. I'm going to help you with math right now. Today, if you join for $97, you get our 3 manuals, the primary, intermediate, and advanced manuals. Between us ladies, I read these again every once in a while. Like if I need to brush up on something, I grab my advanced manual or intermediate. I go knock the rust off. If you went to my Top Gun Options page today to get these, you'd pay $197 for these because they're awesome. So if you're doing the math, because I'm smelling a lot of smoke here, you just saved $100. So if 30 days from now you paid $97 and you're like, nah, I'm good, I don't like this, you get these manuals are yours. You made $100. So I don't like this offer, to be honest with you, but my marketing team tells me, no, Whiz, it's the irresistible offer. I'm like, it doesn't sound okay. I'll listen to you guys. So you get your manuals today, $197. So for $97 or $897 a year, you get access to our solo Amazon live trade brief every Monday at 10. You get the text and the email alerts. You get those 3 skill-based manuals, and you get access to what we call our Ready Room. We have like an online forum where you can ask me questions. You can chat with your fellow traders and all that stuff. So that's called the Ready Room. Bob closed my Amazon synthetic stock for a 37 grand profit. Goose, 23,800 profit in a month. Chuck, thank you, Whiz, for the Amazon calls. Closed 3 contracts, 30% profit, cleared 15 grand. Also had 6 Amazon calls that hit 30% for another 50. Wow. So again, if you want to test fly us for a month, it's $97 a month. I went out to dinner last night for my daughter Keely's 15th birthday, my beautiful bride, and a couple of Keely's girlfriends. We went to a nice Italian place. A bottle of wine was $120. For less than a bottle of wine in Delray Beach, Florida, you can get access to solo Amazon. Okay. It's worth a bottle of wine, folks. Trust me. Trust me. I sound like the Flex Seal tape guy, but wait, there's more, because there is. Make sure right after you get your monthly or your annual membership, it's going to ask you, hey, do you want the full throttle training? This isn't a request. It's an order. Do it. Even if you're a Jedi Master, Whiz, I already know how to trade options. Guess what the motto of Top Gun is? You think you're good? We'll make you better. Right? It's only $195, folks, for 8 training sessions. You want these. I have folks that are Jedi Masters that come to Top Gun Options. They're like, dude, I've been doing, double verticals for years, and I've never heard it that way, and I actually learned from you. I'm like, sweet. I love that. Okay, so take the training. Please take the training. Even if you don't, I guarantee you will down the road, because we're going to be talking about it. Like, hey, we had a great training session last night, and you're going to be like, ah, crap. So take the training, folks. Totaled my Amazon trades for November, and I was just in shock. Cleared 117 in profits this month just on Amazon. So grateful to this group for what I have learned and accomplished. I had a total of 33 Amazon trades this month that were mainly spreads and calls, blah, 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 blah. I mean, folks, so solo Amazon, our newest, one of our newest live trading services. The other ones are usually $167 a month. You're going to get these for $897 for a year, and that's a discount, or you do the $97 bucks a month, ladies and gentlemen. So topgunoptions.com/solo annual to get that discount, folks. Again, if you didn't learn anything from me, I failed miserably, and I will give you 50 push-ups as soon as I end this brief. But if you did learn something, was I talking to you? Are you the person flying around in that F4 Phantom cockpit with 33, 18, 10, 7 positions? Maybe I am talking to you. Maybe it is time to simplify your trading cockpit and focus on a couple of names, first of all, that are safe. They're not going out of business anytime soon, and they print money. Stay focused on these names, folks. Trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win, and somebody's going to get the rear end handed to them, and it ain't going to be me here at Top Gun Options, and it's not going to be you either. Dave, DMFA 323, I was a snake. Dave, I did a little bit of an exchange tour with the Snakes down in Miramar. They needed a rent an LSO. So I was with the Snakes, and I helped them do workups on the USS Constellation. So thank you for your service, Devil Dog. Look at that, David. You know me, man. On time, on target, right through the bullseye. You can count on me, Dave. So you and Anka, thank you for having me, my brother. And I appreciate the invite. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless, and fights on. Namaste, folks. I'll see you later.